Hello, listeners. If you've enjoyed these narrations, please click on that like and subscribe button. You're not going to find it on Google Play or the App Store at all. There's nothing about the game on any public websites other than this cautionary post. It doesn't matter whether you're a good or a bad person. It indiscriminately chooses its targets. The point of that is you cannot avoid the game. Nobody can. You might hear a reverberating ding from your phone, a death toll from the depths of hell. A window might pop up. Can you hide? Yes or no? Make sure that you select no. When the first window appeared on my phone screen, I was stunned. I always presumed smartphones to be safer than the threat of viruses than computers, especially a brand new iPhone. Isn't Apple supposed to be superior to Microsoft when it comes to security? Nice try. But before I would make a rash decision and end up infecting my phone with something nasty, I decided to do some research. I'm not exactly a computer savvy, but I didn't trust either yes or no option. I didn't want to mess the window in any way. There was nothing about the "Can you hide" pop-up online. I didn't even realize it was a game until a Reddit user, who I won't name, pointed me in the direction of a Discord server discussing unearthly matters. There was an entire catalog dictating to the bizarre new game that had been appearing on people's phones. Clicking yes apparently commenced a hide-and-seek game of unknown origin. I scrolled through the many Discord messages. I've removed the usernames, of course. User 1. Can anybody help me? Nobody seems to know anything about this game. My friend played it non-stop for a week, and then he went missing. It was 2 weeks ago. There are daily search parties, but I don't think they're going to find him. He said it wasn't really a game. He said he saw a face outside his window. User 2. You have to select no. User 3. I destroyed my phone after reading these messages. Haven't seen or heard anything unusual. User 4. I selected no, but I keep hearing creaks, and I don't think it's in my head. User 6. Just leave the pop-up window open, guys. You don't have to select anything. User 5. What? For the rest of my life? What if something accidentally knocks into it? User 3. Destroy your phone. Like I said, it worked for me. User 6. Until it pops up on your next phone. User 5. What if I just turn off my phone? That seems a little less dramatic than destroying it, right? User 3. Your funeral, buddy. The more I've read, the more anxious I felt. I hadn't expected a pop-up window to be a virus, but everybody was telling ghost stories. Stop being a superstitious baby, I told myself. The guy's disappearance has nothing to do with the game that he was playing. Eventually, after a weekend of horrifying contemplation, I opted for User 5's idea to just turn my phone off. In fact, I took a step further and reset my phone to its factory settings. I met my friends Corey and Tanya in a local park on Monday afternoon. I'd planned to tell them about my experience, but they actually beat me to the punch. Why didn't you pick up your phone all weekend, Lee? Corey asked me. We were worried about you, man. We wanted to hang out on Saturday. I didn't fancy being a third wheeling. Some of us had some work to do Monday, I replied. Hey, I work too, Corey protested. From a bathrobe in your bedroom, Tanya smirked. You're both just envious that I can scroll through Reddit and play games away from the watchful eye of my employer. Speaking of games, Lee, have you played Can You Hide? My heart plummeted as I felt as if Corey's words were cinder blocks dragging my body through the floorboard. He's obsessed. He's been playing it every day since Tuesday, Tanya sighed. It just popped up on my phone, so I thought, hey, why not? Tanya thought it was a virus, but it's just some cool augmented reality game. Corey laughed. Corey thrusted his phone down on the wooden picnic table. It was already open on a game window, a map of the surrounding area. A small green dot marker indicated Corey's location in the park, and there was a small red marker along nearby roads. "Alright, so here's what it is," Corey said. "Once a day, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, the game takes place. I have to hide. It tracks my location in the real world, so I have to keep moving. I wanted to delay coming to the park, actually, but I didn't think the Red Seeker will find me here. Besides, it's only 10 to 4, nearly made it." "What's the red marker that's seeking you?" I asked, stuttering. "The boogeyman is what I call him." He laughed and Tanya thumped him hard in the arm. "You know that kind of talk makes Lee freak out." Corey just shrugged, and the pair of them became absorbed in the different topics of conversation. They were eating into their sandwiches, talking between mouthfuls, but I wasn't eating. I couldn't take my eyes off of Corey's phone on the table. The red marker was circling the park, looking for him. I couldn't stop thinking about those people on the Discord server who had spoken so solemnly of the unspoken deadly game. Suddenly the marker was in the park. Corey was wrong. It had found him. I prepared for something dreadful to happen. I prepared for my friend to be caught. And that's a wrap. Scooping up his phone. 4 o'clock. Yet again I bested the game. It got close this time though. Damn, just 100 yards away. On the game map, the park was a featureless green patch. I could see Corey's green marker scarcely standing out in the grass, and I could see the red marker northeast of our location. The victory box read, "You avoided the creeker by 120 yards. You can hide." Tori groaned and mumbled about Corey's game addiction, and the two of them resumed their conversation. I was about to dive back into reality, putting the silly game out of my head for good, but a sudden noise terrified me. A creak. My eyes shot up from the table. Neither Tanya nor Corey seemed to notice the eerie noise, and I can't explain it. As nearby as the sound seemed, my eyes were drawn to a solitary tree, a little over 100 yards away. Perhaps not exactly where the red marker had appeared on Corey's screen, but close enough. Peering around the bark was a frightful face. The thing looked at the three of us, and it wasn't human. It was as short as a toddler. Its head, if it even had a head, was wearing a peach-colored rubber mask, almost the tone of a human's flesh, but not quite the same. And its sickly sweet smile seared through my eyes into my very soul. With a second resounding creak, the nightmare's face snapped behind the bark, disappearing from view. "Earth to Lee," Tanya said, giggling. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "Corey, I think somebody's actually seeking you," I whispered, pointing a shaky finger at the tree. "I don't think you should play this game anymore, dude." "Your phasmophobia really kills my buzz sometimes, Lee," Corey sighed. "There's no boogeyman following me. I have a proclivity for trembling at everyday sights and sounds. In my mind, there's always a ghost or a ghoul around the corner. Ever since my parents died, I've been that way. But I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that I hadn't imagined what I saw behind that tree. Unfortunately, though, my phobia, fear of ghosts and the supernatural, makes it very difficult for anyone to believe me when I'm startled by something. Corey and Tanya told me to take it easy and get lots of rest. The following days, the two of them pinged me incessantly on WhatsApp. I was still reeling from the terrifying thing I'd seen behind the tree, transfixed by my thoughts. The workday flew by. I was starting to believe that maybe I'd become unwell. Perhaps I'd suffered from a psychotic break. Not so. Around 5:30 in the evening, on my drive home from work, Tanya called me. I answered via car dashboard. "I'm driving right now, Tanya. What's..." I trailed off when I heard my friend bawling her eyes out on the other end of the phone. "It's in the house. The game started playing. It's later than usual," she whispered. "Slow down. What's happening right now?" I replied. The game started at 6, Tanya tearfully explained in a fragile whisper. "I think you were right, Lee. I think someone's actually seeking us. We saw a horrible face in the window, and then there's something creaking inside the house. We're hiding in the attic. Corey pulled the door up so we don't think..." "Have you called the police?" I interjected, heart pounding. "They're on the way, yes. 15 minutes, they said, if we can..." "What? It's Lee, no. I feel safer with someone on the phone." "Okay. Corey wants me to hang up. He wants us to be quiet now." "Okay, I understand. Just make sure." No, please," Tanya whimpered. I don't need to ask what had frightened her. I could hear it on the other line. A creak in the attic. It sounded so clear and, once again, so near. So nightmarishly near that I snapped my neck around to make sure that the rubber-faced demon wasn't actually in my car. At that point, I decided not to go home. I diverted to Corey's house, an 8-minute journey, barely any quicker than the police. "How did it even get in here?" Tanya continued to whisper. "I didn't even see the door open." "It's not an it," Corey scoffed, though he spoke with a quivering voice. "He's just a child, and he needs to leave our..." "Oh." "What the fuck is that?" Tanya whispered. Please," Corey began to beg on the other line. The screams of my two friends were deafening. I was so fixated on reaching the house that I didn't hang up on the call. It was only as I tore into Corey's driveway mere minutes before the police that I realized I'd been listening to the sounds of squealing, snapping, and most hauntingly of all, creaking. I barged down the front door and ran up to the attic. I expected to find a sickening sight of mutilation, but the space was empty. Corey and Tanya were gone. The police had questions for me, of course, but my alibi was airtight. The 999 call was made before I even left my office, and traffic cameras corroborated the fact that I was on the road while the intruders terrorized Corey and Tanya. Missing persons. That's their verdict. I don't understand what this game wants. I don't know where the missing people go. All I know is that resetting my phone wasn't enough. On my drive home, after a long night of tears and police questioning, I could swear I caught a glimpse of a peach-colored mask peeking around a postbox. And then, as if to confirm that menacing thought, there was a notification on my phone. That unmistakable ding of hell. The message displayed on my car dashboard. "Can you hide? Yes or no?" I moaned in horror, and that was what damned me. My car used voice recognition, and it somehow registered my terrified vocal reaction as a response. You selected no. Perhaps I've chosen the safer of the two options. I know many of the Discord users suggested no, but I can't stop thinking of what I read on that one server. I selected no, but I keep hearing creaks. I haven't heard anything yet myself, and the game hasn't started playing, but Corey didn't seem to hear the creaks when he was playing the game. Maybe, like him, I've just been missing it. I'm horrified of the creaker. I'm horrified of where he might take me. Listen, did you hear that right now? I think there was a creak sound.